Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, warm greetings to you. My name is Veronica Moe, and welcome to Childcare 411, where I give you the news you can use to make decisions about the best childcare solutions for your family. Today, I am going to give you 5 reasons why your company will never offer on-site childcare. I would love to be wrong about this, and so let me know if I am. But according to the Wall Street Journal, only about 6% of companies offer on-site childcare. And I don't see that going from 6 to 90% anytime soon. But, I could be wrong. In the meantime, I want to share with you the reasons why it's not going to happen. So let me just take a step back, because I know since the pandemic, there have been some changes around the support that working parents get for, their children. I won't say support for their children, but support in terms of maybe a little bit more flexibility in the workplace, or maybe a little flexibility about working from home, or having kids in the background during your Zoom meetings. I called a company today, and the automated voice told me that because they were allowing more flexibility to their workers, for me to please be patient with any background noise that I might hear. So I said, okay, I'll be patient. And hopefully no one is looking over their shoulder while they have my financial information up on their screens. But anyway, I'm sorry. It just put me in the wrong headspace when they made that announcement. But I understand what's happening today. But there are lots of companies where employees could very much benefit from having an on-site childcare facility. It would be awesome, but they're not going to do it. And here's the number one reason why. You can probably guess it. And no, it's not that they don't care. At least that's not one that I have on my list. But it's too expensive. And I hate to say it like that, but it's expensive. Because not only do you have the facility costs, you have the personnel costs, you have all of the legal costs, which we'll talk about as well. You have a lot going on. I need to close that door because I can hear the dryer. Darn it. Hey, where was I? Yeah, too expensive. So if you know anything about childcare, you know that there are a lot of expenses involved. You have to buy a building. You have to outfit the building. You have to make sure that the building meets the child care codes, which are very specific. You have to make sure that that you have plenty of space inside and outside, at least in North Carolina. You have to make sure that your staff is qualified, and we have to make sure that we are not underpaying our staff, right? And so that's a lot. That's a lot. And then, of course, any regular business, you're going to have your contracts and such, but you will definitely, a company will definitely need some additional attorneys to make sure that those contracts are pretty tight, because there's a lot of liability involved with having children on your campus. And so, the expenses will be there for on-site. For some companies, they might have to move to a different location in order to accommodate an on-site facility. Some companies may have to build another building for that. Construction costs are not low. So those are just some of the things to have to try and figure out. So it's expensive. That's number one. Number two, legalities. So yes, companies, they have their attorneys on staff already, because obviously it's a company. So there are a lot of bases that need to be covered by people who know and understand the law. And this would just add to that. Not only do you have, your insurances that you need to make sure are in place, you have not only do you have the parents that you need to be concerned about, but now you have their kids on site as well. And you have parents and kids, and you have people who are not parents who are in the same vicinity, on a daily basis, as the little people. So, there are a lot of logistics that need to be figured out, and a lot of legal things that need to be figured out. So there's a cost that comes with that. Not only is there the cost of hiring those legal experts, but they have to be maintained on staff to ensure that everything remains in compliance legally, and that whatever you do on the business side, that it does not conflict with what the requirements are for the child care center, and vice versa. So if you are a company that processes chemicals on site, it's probably even going to be impossible for you to have a child care center. So, there are a lot of legalities, which leads me into number three, the regulations. So you have the legal side of it, and then you have just the day-to-day requirements for child care. You have safety requirements, which include not just the physical grounds, but it also includes the workers. You have to have background checks. You have to make sure the building itself is safe. If you have kids going back and forth in the parking lot, you have to make sure that is safe. You have to make sure that you have an outside space that is safe. So your current location, if it's not feasible for the company to add on to wherever they are currently, then that alone could just shut down the idea, because there's a lot that they have to look out for as far as meeting the state regulations. Each state is different. So some states, I'm sure it would be easier, or maybe I should say simpler, for companies to have a child care center on site. For other states, it will be much more difficult, if not impossible, for that to happen. So the regulations, number three, the regulations, that's another reason why they won't do it. All right, number four, workplace benefits administration. So this is another cost, because you have to be able to administer this benefit to the employees. You have to go back in and update all of your benefits information to include the child care info, which may or may not be that big of a deal, but it is still something extra that companies would have to figure out. How does this fit into our overall benefits package? How, if we offer like subsidized on-site child care, how does that play into taxes? How does that play into our tax liability? How will that impact the employees' overall compensation if we are giving them a discounted rate, or if we're giving them vouchers to attend the on-site child care center? So there are other things that they have to think about when administering an additional benefit. How are they tracking it? How are they making sure that they're staying on top of I guess, the details from the benefits administration side. So that's number 4. And my last one, number 5. And this one, I guess this one is just my opinion. I don't have numbers on this, but I think it'll be very obvious how I came to this conclusion. My last one, number 5, the 5th reason why your why your employer will never have on-site childcare is because childcare is not an issue for the decision makers. I'm saying that with a smile. It just isn't, because the decision makers are usually, the C-suite people, the folks who are the executives, and usually those folks are not getting a call from the daycare. They're not getting a call from the daycare. Either their kids are out of daycare, they're older, because generally you will be in a certain age range when you are in the C-suite. Or these are people who have chosen not to have children because of their career ambitions. Or they are people who have, because of where they are in their career, they have the salary to have a lot of options around childcare, whether it's a stay-at-home spouse or a live-in nanny, or just other paid staff that help them so that they don't have to get calls from the daycare saying your child just threw up and you have to come and get them right now. They don't have that. I don't know. I mean, I don't have the numbers on that, but please, you tell me if the president of your company has ever abruptly left a meeting because they had to go and pick up their child from daycare because the child got sick, or if they called out because they didn't have childcare that day. I doubt it, but I would love to hear about it if I'm wrong. And this is not an us against them statement. It's just an observation. When the fire is not close to your house, your sense of urgency is very different than when it is like on your doorstep. So, until that happens, that number going from 6% up to 90% probably won't happen anytime soon. And let me tell you one other thing. With the pandemic, a lot of folks were touched by childcare challenges because, let me not say with the pandemic, with the quarantine during the pandemic, because daycares had to shut down. And so if you had a child in daycare or preschool or whatever, you could have been a minimum wage worker, or you could have been a highly paid executive. Your childcare center was closed. So that was at least one time when everyone was feeling that pain around childcare challenges. So, it is not likely that something like that would happen again and influence the childcare situation unless it were to be a very long-term shutdown situation. But until then, we will probably continue to see some support for parents, maybe like childcare vouchers, maybe, this would be a good one. Time off for childcare, to take care of childcare needs. Now, some companies do have that for personal care and whatnot, but you have to be careful because, when you get into equity issues with offering benefits, you have to be careful about that. Not everyone has a child, and not everyone is a caretaker. But I'm pretty sure everyone would want to have that flexibility, whether it's for a child or a parent or a pet or plants or whatever else. I'll just leave that one right there. So let me know what you think. Did I miss anything? Am I off? Am I off bases on any of that? Let me know if you agree. Can I get an amen? Just let me know your thoughts about those 5 reasons why your company will never offer on-site childcare. And if they do, it will probably be so far in the future that it won't even affect you. So you don't, either way, you don't need to worry about it. I'm sorry to say it that way. It's not a laughing matter, but yeah. Thank you for joining me today. And I'm here to give you the news that you can use to make the best decisions about the childcare solutions that your family needs. Bye.